Alright guys, so I didn't follow up from my last video, but just to recap you, bring you up to speed. If you remember, in the last video, we got the swing arm bolt for the Z400 quad bolt. It was the right thickness or diameter. It does fit in the case, but it was too long. Emailed a few machine shops to see if they could cut one down for me. Either they couldn't do it or it was going to be cost prohibitive to do it. And that bolt's weird. Like, it's hollow throughout the bolt, but at the end where the threads are, it's either less hollow, and at the head it's less. So it just would have been a big ordeal to try to machine that down if possible. And I don't know if there would have been enough diameter where you have to rethread it to even work. So that was a bust. So the next thought was, we'll just get the original bolt, which this should be, use it. And, you know, it's not a conventional hex head bolt, right? It only has two flats. But you may be able to put a crescent wrench or even a conventional wrench on there once I measure and see what side it is. Use that to hold the bolt in place, the wrench, and then tighten the other end like the conventional setup. Or possibly use this bolt and modify the frame to have some kind of locking tabs that will lock this in place, sort of like on the frames it's intended for. I may go that route. Oh, another option I thought of was pretend if this was a hex head nut, slide this over here, weld this to the bolt, which that could work, but you'd need a pretty thin bolt, because if you got a normally thick one, well, now you're reducing the overall length of this bolt. And my welding skills are pretty much non-existent, so I don't know about that either. So I may just try to use the original bolt, and as long as it tightens up securely, then it'll work. So anyway, we got this bolt. We're just going to make sure it fits in the old case, and then I will go to the next steps. Let's remove that. Got the sticker off the bolt. Let's go ahead and just do a test fitting to see if it'll fit through the case. It goes through, a little bit of turning, boom, there you go. Nice fit with no greasing necessary, but I will lube it up before I put it in. Alright, so we also have measured the frame, at least the mounts where the swing arm goes through. That's annoying. And I measured it at roughly, I think it was 0.310, sometimes 0.322. Anyway, roughly 5/16 of an inch thick. So to simulate that, I got some washers from the hardware store. I think these are 0.111 in thickness. So 3 of these will roughly be, and that looks kind of thick, these will roughly simulate the frame. I'll put these on either side of the swing arm, and then we'll put the bolt through. It'll be a little thick, but that's okay. So I think we're ready to put this in the swing arm. Is that right? All right, so let me move the setup to the floor where I have more room, and we'll get that done. Go. Alright guys, we got our pseudo straight edge hitting our level. And let's just see how in the ballpark we are with these marks, these sprockets. Alright, it's touching there, and it's touching there. I mean, I know this isn't super accurate, but all 4 are touching there. And I think we're good, guys. That's pretty darn close. I know y'all can't really tell from here. Let me try to stay out of the camera. Now, it's hard to tell when we're really touching on 2 points there, but I believe we are. And if I rotate it this way, I believe we're touching on 2 back there. So I'm going to trust that these lining blocks are pretty much lined up right. And we're ready to try to find the center line. Well, sorry. We can take this back apart now and then proceed to truing the wheel, which I'll need to read up on and figure out how to do it. But so far, we're kind of headed in the right direction. And again, that pivot bolt tightens up, so I think we may be able to use it with the proper sized wrench, and it'll secure it because this other end has a lock nut on it. So, all right, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and hopefully the next video will be down the pipe sometime soon.